Good morning, how are we doing? In today's show, we're going to talk about managing your expectations in fitness, okay? And being able to manage when we don't hit the milestones that we want to hit, all right? So let's get into this. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Borman. And if you are coming through, then please do let me know. It obviously means a lot for me when you get involved here, right? So, and if you comment and share, then other men can get some benefit of this. You know, we're trying to change the world one man at a time, and you guys can play that part as well. So please do just drop a good morning. Let me know if anything resonates with you. Drop a love heart, share, comment. Just be involved. Just be involved. Don't be the lurker. So listen, I want to talk about managing your levels of expectation versus the levels of your conditioning right now in terms of fitness and exercise. The problem for many guys is that whatever we do sometimes doesn't seem enough. You know what I mean? Like, you run a 10K and it's an achievement, but then you go, well, the time just wasn't quick enough. I just wasn't quick enough for my minute miles. Or you do a marathon and you didn't run it the way you wanted to run it. Something along those lines. And what we do, and I think we do this really well as men, we set the expectation really high. What actually sets the expectation high? Well, let's look at some of the things that we do really well. We don't manage our ego. We do that really well, not managing the ego. So the ego gets carried away. And we sometimes forget we're in our late 30s, mid 30s, mid 40s, 50s, whatever age you are. And then we're not a young 20-year-old anymore. And we've got responsibilities. We've got kids. We've got a mortgage to pay. Got a wife to keep happy. That's probably the hardest job. Right? So we've got all of these things going on in our life. So we don't have the freedom to go and train like we used to train. We don't have that time to be able to pursue the level of conditioning that we want to pursue. It's not always possible. So where do those unrealistic expectations come from? Well, I think a big part to play in terms of those expectations are, I've already mentioned the ego, what we used to achieve, what we used to be like, how we used to perform. So we judge ourselves on our 20-year-old self, okay, not our 40-year-old self or 30-year-old self or 50-year-old self. And that's just in our mind. Well, I used to do it then, I can do it now. No, you just can't. You know, I thought I could until my boy sort of suddenly, all of us, suddenly has grown up as 14. We're doing sprint finishes at the end of 5K. And he's left me for dust. I'm like, I'm going to leave this kid behind. He just sprints off, right? Leaves me behind. And he exposed my limitations. But, you know, it's good. That's where, you know, those expectations, managing those expectations, which is what, by the way, triggered this show this morning. Social media. Looking at what other people are doing or are apparently doing on social media, right? We get sucked into it. What our mates are telling us that we're doing or what we're seeing with our mates. You know what? It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It really doesn't. On social media, around our friend circle, we're all at different levels. We're all at different stages of our life. We all have different responsibilities and different levels of that responsibility. And it's important. Dibby Jesse, let's go. And it's important to make sure that we understand that. Otherwise, that's going to really influence the level of expectations that you set for yourself to achieve. And if we don't manage those expectations and we're not at the conditioning level of what those expectations should be, there's a huge deficit. And in that deficit of your expectations are here, your level of conditioning is here, then we tend to feel sorry for ourselves. We tend to beat ourselves up. We tend to overthink. We have an apocalyptic thinking mentality. We just think, oh, what's the point? Let's just quit this. And that's what I call the deficit bucket. The deficit bucket. If you fall into the deficit bucket of, I'm not achieving these expectations, what's the real point in doing this? And actually you miss the joy and the thrill of the achievement. You need to slap yourself around the face hard. Okay? What we need to do is face some truths and get some stability on the level of conditioning that we're at. So if we are down here, we need to bring those expectations that are up here all the way down. Bring them down here. So that means being honest with yourself. Okay, that means saying, look, I can't run a 5K in 18 minutes anymore. That means I can't deadlift 160 kilograms anymore. That means I can't run a marathon under 4 hours anymore. And that takes some home truths, right? That takes that takes you dropping your ego and being able to get, right, where am I? This is where I'm at. This is my level of conditioning. Maybe I've let myself go. Maybe I'm 2 stone overweight. Maybe I've got 4 kids to deal with. Maybe I've got a heavy job that's taking its burden at the minute. So realistically, what I can achieve is running 5K and not even worrying about the time. What I can achieve is just getting to the gym and working out 3 times a week. And then you end up managing your expectations much better. Morning. Morning. And then you're managing those expectations much, much better. And then there isn't the deficit bucket. People are so miserable, aren't they? Jesus. That's better. So, stop looking at what other people are doing. Stop worrying about what other people are achieving or say they're achieving. Okay? And focus purely on what you see as a win. Don't be doing a 10K and doing it in 50 minutes and then turning around and going, oh mate, just wanted to be 2 minutes faster. Bit of a leg end comment to make, right? And if you're in that mentality, then you're allowing your ego to get over the top of you. So drop the ego, drop the entitlement, face some hard truths about where you are, and set your expectations at that level. Then start showing up and enjoying the ride, man. Like, exercise shouldn't be a sporadic thing. It should be just a consistent enjoyment of, look, I want to keep my body in shape here. You know, and how I look after my body now is going to determine how my body looks after me in 10 years. A lot of people forget that, right? A lot of people forget that. As we get older, if you've neglected your body inside and out, you're going to suffer when you're older. You are going to suffer. And I'm not I'm just talking facts here. Like, you know, I work with a lot of guys in their 50s who did nothing through their 40s and they're struggling with mobility, flexibility, strength, gut health. Just start looking after yourself, fellas. But if your expectations and your ego are stopping you, you know, you are the one that's going to suffer. And I only want the best for you. So, you know, sometimes you just have to hear the hard truths. Anyway, that's what I want you to go away, manage your expectations, manage the levels that you're at, okay? And start showing up to the level of conditioning that you're at and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Stop doing the pressure thing with all the time and the PBs and everything like that. Every now and then, sure, test yourself, but not all the time. Just go for a run and say, oh, it was a great run. You know, stop stressing about the time or your minute miles. I see people running, like looking at their watch every 2 seconds. And I understand that some people are at different levels and they want to test themselves in that way. That's cool. But not everyone is. And this is really directed at those people who are not showing up because they're not managing their expectations properly. Does that make sense? Let me know if this resonates with you guys. Let me know if this is something that you're going through. Please comment, please let me know. There's a fitness program up here. We've knocked £150 off. If you need some, like, there's loads of home workouts on there that you can do. There's loads of mobility on there you can do. There's loads of warm-ups and exercise and structured plans for you to follow as well. If you need it,